I want to start out today by wishing every one of you a happy Thanksgiving. We are so blessed to be able to sit down and have a meal today. We're even more blessed if we're able to do that with friends and family. I also want to take a minute and I want to thank every one of you who takes the time out of your busy day to watch this channel. And I want to thank everybody out there who has supported this channel either with prayers, donations, letters, thoughts. I want to thank every one of you. I could not do this without your prayers, your love, your support. So have a great Thanksgiving. God bless you. We are so blessed. Thanks for taking the time and watching and sharing this channel. So it's a cold, wet Thanksgiving here in Southern California. It's been raining all day, but I've had some time to kind of go through some news and kind of just ponder some thoughts before I have Thanksgiving dinner here with some of my family members. And I just wanted to share a little bit of this with you before Black Friday officially starts tomorrow. What we do know right now is that 40% of Americans don't even have $400 saved up. And I wonder how many of these people will be standing in line during Black Friday or acting like a complete imbecile, running people over so they can buy a big screen TV with money they don't have. Black Friday is coming, but actually it's coming much sooner than you even think. It's actually begun. Black Friday has begun today on this Thanksgiving, on this wet, cold Thursday, Thanksgiving 2019. Black Friday has already begun in most places. I have a list here of stores that are open today or will be opening today. Bass Pro Shop opened at 8 a.m. Bed Bath & Beyond, first time ever, they'll be open on Thanksgiving. CVS Drugs, 24 hours, they'll be open today. Dollar General, open. Designer Shoe Warehouse locations will be opening at 5 p.m. GameStop opens at 3 p.m. JCPenney's, 2 p.m. Macy's, 5 p.m. Old Navy will open at 3 p.m. Rite Aid, 24 hours. Sears will open at 6 p.m. And the list goes on. There's just a large list of retailers that will be open today or will be opening this evening to get a jump on the holiday season. This is how desperate these retailers are now. I can't remember with my memory when so many stores would be open on Thanksgiving. Most stores in past history were always closed. It was very rare to even find a restaurant open on Thanksgiving, let alone a retail store. Now, many of your retailers will be open or have been opened all day just to get a jump on the holiday season because they know it's critical to get an early start because the numbers are going to be down. They are lagging right now. So Black Friday coming today on this Thanksgiving, it has begun. And what is really fascinating about it is 48 million people haven't even paid off the debt from last holiday season. And those same people will be back out tonight or back out tomorrow spending money they do not have, getting further and further, deeper and deeper into debt. These people are going to pay such a price when this economy corrects, when these markets correct. These people are going to be sitting ducks. There's going to be huge repercussions and ramifications for people who continue to acquire massive amounts of debt, especially before we head into a recession, an economic collapse, a Great Depression. If there's one thing I can say today on this Thanksgiving, if you're going to go and shop, use cash, use your debit card, do not use a credit card. There's been many studies that show that you're going to spend 20-25% more money with a credit card than you would with cash or your debit card. And if you're one of these people who still has debt from last year, you have no business out there shopping today. You should be paying your debts down right now, not creating more debts. This debt is literally going to be like hand grenades on the floor when this collapse hits. And there's going to be nowhere to run, nowhere to hide when it hits. And everywhere you step, grenades are going to be everywhere because you've created this mess. What you need to be doing is cleaning up this mess, not creating a bigger mess. So, be responsible, be cautious with your holiday spending. And I'm going to go a little further of why you should be, because there are more canaries in these coal mines telling you that things are about to get really bad. Wall Street Journal yesterday, New York Fed adds 108 billion to markets. Ask yourself, how safe do you think the U.S. banking system is, the financial institutions? If the Fed had to add another 108.95 billion to be exact, we are witnessing quantitative easing. We're witnessing bank bailouts. Yet all this propaganda that the media keeps shoving in your face to go out and spend money you don't have on Black Friday, to buy massive amounts of Christmas presents for people. This is dangerous. And I know that most people watching this video are quite aware of what's going on. I know that most of you are responsible. Most of you are paying your debts down or have your debts very manageable. Look, everybody has some amount of debt, but we need to make sure that we're working on getting it paid down, that it's manageable, because we know what is right around the corner, okay? We know what is coming. And articles like this in the Wall Street Journal are just telling you the truth. How about this? Federal debt up $1.3 trillion since last Thanksgiving. To give everybody an idea, every household in America now is on the hook for this debt, okay? The $23 trillion that we now have here in America. Every household now owes $10,137. See, what most people don't understand is they just think the debt is just a number that nobody's responsible for it. But you and I are supposed to be paying this debt back. We need to be paying it off, even though it's never going to get paid off. But we just got tagged now $10,137 per household for this monstrous debt that continues to get bigger and bigger. And the average household is going to owe more than this next month, and it will owe more than this the following month and the following month. And next year at this time, the average household will owe well over $10,137 because the debt continues to get bigger and bigger, and it is unsustainable. And this is another reason why it's so imperative that all of us are preparing mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Bill Gross, many of you might remember him. He was the nicknamed the Bond King. He managed the biggest bond fund right out in Orange County, PIMCO. He spoke with the Financial Times. He said this, and this is on Zero Hedge. He said, 2020 could be a sluggish year for financial assets as fiscal and monetary stimulus becomes ineffective. Gross is echoing what central banks and government officials in many G7 countries are warning about at the moment. The stimulus isn't working as a synchronized global slowdown continues to gain momentum. You must be preparing. This right here tells every one of us. I mean, Bill Gross is no dummy, okay? This guy managed a lot of money. He knows what's going on. Gross says that the 2020 political environment would produce volatility for financial markets. I think like anyone gambling in the stock market now or in real estate, I truly believe, and I'm not a financial advisor, I truly believe this is very, very dangerous. People are gambling for a few more percent in these markets and a few more percent in this real estate bubble. And I truly believe that there are so many unknowns coming in 2020, whether that be political, financial, or social, that right now is a time to be stockpiling cash and assets. This is not the time to be gambling. Too many unknown variables in 2020. Keep your powder dry and keep an eye on things. Global recovery derailed as world trade plunges again. World trade growth will move lower. This is also on Zero Hedge. We are not even close to a deal with China. And as I've said for a very long time, I don't believe China even wants a deal, although their economy is getting smashed right now. China has massive turmoil with small and medium banks right now. 13% of the 4,379 banks are now considered high risk. I mean, you talk about a nuclear bomb going off across the globe. China's banking, I mean, we look at Deutsche Bank, and now we look at the banking catastrophe, the turmoil taking place in China right now. This is very dangerous for the entire globe. 5 banks suffered bank runs or were bailed out. Now add another additional 500 that are in massive trouble in China. So globally, we see big problems in the future here that currently erupting across the globe. But this is going to promote bigger problems down the road. And this is why I think we have to be very, very cautious, very conservative, why we need to be stacking cash and assets. How many banks will fail in the near future is especially relevant, not only for China, but the entire world. We look at the banking problems in Europe. We look at what's happening in Asia. And right now, I mean, how can we say that we don't have problems here in America when we are literally bailing out our banks Wednesday, another $108.95 billion into our own banks? So we are watching a meltdown in the banking system across the globe while we are witnessing a melt up at the same time in the stock market. This is a nation, China now, this is a nation with $40 trillion or a $40 trillion system with the 4 largest banks in the world. Yet people are telling you, don't worry, everything is okay. You don't need to be stacking cash or assets. You just need to be spending money you don't have. You do not want to be one of those people. These are the masses, the sheeple. We know what happens to the sheeple. They get slaughtered. So make sure that you're not listening to these people. This is the time to step away from the crowd and do the opposite. Why would anybody be buying overvalued real estate, overvalued properties, overvalued land, overvalued stocks, overvalued bonds when gold and silver are on sale? Now is the time to be buying the stuff on sale, not the overvalued assets. Futures tumble as the president signs bill backing Hong Kong protesters. This is very interesting, and I'm glad that he did this. This will be interesting tomorrow. I think we have a half day on the markets. The futures are down, I think, about only 40 points right now, so it doesn't look too bad, but we're going to see what this does to the markets tomorrow. China has been threatening this president about signing this Hong Kong bill, and now we're going to wait and see if there is retaliation. And if there is retaliation, this could be problems for the markets. But as of right now, last I checked, the futures are down about 40 points, nothing major, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. CNBC, Chinese industrial profits collapse by most on record. Industrial profits fell 9.9% in October. They fell 5.3% in September. Reuters poll, China's growth to slip to a near 30-year low of 6.2%. So this thing's really heating up, but it looks like China is really getting devastated with this trade war. And as we go farther into it, it could get worse on both sides. Well, I was watching a show today, and what was really interesting when we look that China has the 4 largest banks in the world. They manufacture about everything. From 2011 to 2013, China poured more concrete in those 2 years than the U.S. did in the last century combined. So in 2 years, China poured more concrete than America did in 100 years. This is how enormous and powerful China has become. I'm telling every one of you that if we do not stand up to China right now, they are getting so big and so powerful. They want to be the world superpower. They want the World Bank. They want the world currency. They want to be the biggest manufacturers in the world. They want to be the biggest consumers in the world. Everything about China is about being the biggest. China's a machine that just wants to keep growing. And in order to grow, they need raw materials, they need energy, they need food to keep growing, to keep this machine going. They need US dollars. We enable them to get those US dollars through our trading relationships. With the tariffs, they've had to dip in to the capital markets and get money through MSCI and get money from US retirement funds. That should scare all of you. How connected, how interconnected everything is, and that they are dipping into MSCI, into retirement funds in order to really be, I believe, an enemy to America, to be a competitor, to be competition, dipping into US retirement funds to enable the threat to America. So again, everything is so connected, and we have a communist regime that is dipping into retirement funds in order to compete against us, in order to take the reins as a superpower away from America. And they're using U.S. retirement funds as a tool to do that. It's absolutely incredible. So I just wanted to share a little bit with you today while I had some time, some of the reasons why I'm going to continue to prepare and why I believe that it is more important than ever to be preparing right now. I believe that 2020 is going to be a year of reckoning. I believe that it is going to be a historical and biblical year. I believe we are going to see chaotic events unfold. I believe we're going to see events across the board, whether that be socially, politically, or economically and spiritually, unfold, take place in 2020. And if you're not preparing right now, I believe that you're going to pay a big price for it. I believe that you're being irresponsible. I believe that you're making a very, very big mistake here. I truly, in my heart, believe we're going to see big events in 2020. Wall Street Journal today, Deere projects tractor sales will plunge. Equipment sales are getting crushed. Shares for Deere tractors were down around 4% yesterday on Wednesday. Guidance for agriculture and turf 2020 sales was lowered by 5% to 10% for the full year. That's for 2020. The forestry and construction segment also guided lower, down 10% to 15% in 2020. The lower guidance for 2020 could suggest Deere shares are headed for a big slide. And it won't just be Deere. It's going to be shares for many of these corporations that borrowed a lot of cheap money, who are not making profits, who have massive amounts of debt. And a lot of these zombie corporations that are floating in the market right now. So again, we're looking at a corporate recession taking place right now. We're looking at a retail apocalypse. We're looking at auto sales falling off of a cliff. We're looking at manufacturing falling off of a cliff. We're looking at the service sector slowing down. We're looking at industrial production slowing down, transportation slowing down. The canaries are dropping dead all over the place. And for anybody out there that doesn't believe they should be preparing, that they believe that good times are ahead, you are delusional. You are living in make-believe land. I'm here to tell every one of you, and most of you know what's coming, but you feel alone. You feel like you're the only one that thinks that. I'm here to reinforce and share with you that you are not alone. What you believe is the truth, and what you believe is coming. The day of reckoning is coming to the U.S. economy, whether these people want to believe it or not. I don't care what anybody believes. At the end of the day, I believe in what the facts are, what these statistics are showing, what I believe in my heart is going to happen, what I see happening around the world. I mean, just start connecting the dots. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out where this is all going. This is all going to crash and burn. And I want to just repeat, prepare, prepare, prepare. The day of reckoning is coming to America. Don't be one of the sheeple. Don't be one of the masses. They always lose. This is the time to split from the herd and do the opposite. This is the time to hunker down, keep your powder dry. There are going to be massive sales in these markets across the board, unlike you have ever seen in your life. The biggest wealth transfer in the world is about to take place. Why would you be buying overvalued assets right now? Why do you think all the insiders are getting out? Why do you think Warren Buffett is sitting on $144 billion of cash? Why do you think people like the bond king Bill Gross are telling you that 2020 doesn't look too good? Why do you think the Fed is having to bail out banks right now? Just start connecting the dots. The warning signs are everywhere. Tell me where the good news is. Where is the light at the end of the tunnel? What is going to save the U.S. economy? An economy based on consumption, an economy that is relying on the consumer to continue to spend money that they don't have. Do you really believe this utopia or this fantasy is going to continue forever? I promise you, it's coming to an end. And we're starting to see the end of the tunnel right now. And when we get there, it's going to be a very, very chaotic time. And if you're one of these people in America that doesn't have $400 saved up, you know, you're going to have a real hard time surviving. You're going to have a real rough time. And I hate to say that. I'm not putting anybody down. I'm not trying to scare anybody. But if you only have a couple $100 saved up right now, you're going to be in big trouble. Doing something is better than nothing. Getting your debts paid off is better than having debt going into a collapse. Having 10 ounces of silver is better than having 0 ounces of silver. Having a little bit of security is better than no security. Do what you can, but you need to be doing it right now.